Hey everyone, it's Jay from Atlanta Track Club, and this nondescript location that I'm in is actually the quarantine hotel for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, which are in 2021, but that's a whole other story. I'm joined today by two Atlanta Track Club athletes who I hope will be joining me here in a couple of weeks, Abe Alvarado and Allie Wilson of Atlanta Track Club Elite, out in Portland, getting ready for the U.S. Olympic team trials for track and field. Abe and Allie, thanks for joining me.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So this is it. This is the big week. This is what the season's been building to. And I'll ask you first, Abe, because your race is sooner. What do these last couple of days look like for you?
So yeah, these last couple of days are just kind of fine tuning and getting the body feeling good, the legs feeling good. We're not doing much. It's kind of like the taper part of the season where our focus is just to get through the rounds, feeling good, and go for it all in the final.
Allie, you've got a couple more days. You're not until next Thursday. First of all, do you like that sort of runway, or would you rather just get it over with once you get out there?
So, I mean, there's obviously two sides to every story. I feel like I would love to just, be able to compete the first week and then go to the rest of the meet and just enjoy it and kick my feet up and just be able to watch and relax. But now that we're here and like all the emotions are starting to stir up, I think I'm happy to have 1 week to just kind of relax and watch some races while I continue to prepare physically and mentally. And yeah, so I think I'm happy that I'm not racing until the second week. I can just watch Abe and let him inspire me going into my races.
It's been a while since both of you have been at a race with rounds. How do you prepare differently mentally and physically for a meet that has multiple rounds of an event? And Abe, I'll start with you.
So for me, it's been a while, but I've been at these championship races for the past few years. So I kind of have the experience of the rounds. I just kind of, you approach it the same way you would approach any other race, running your own race and, racing to win, just because, you can't slouch because, championship races happen for a reason where, on any given day, anyone can run fast. And so you just got to be ready. There's no like, oh, I'm just going to sit and, I'll kick everyone. It's just kind of like, you got to be in the race from the start and be ready for any move that's made.
Allie, that actually leads me to a question I had for you, because I know you'd like to go from the gun. You like to lead from the start because you've talked about, not being that 400-meter runner that some of your competitors are. Will that strategy change at all when you're running in the trials against, the best in the country?
It might, yeah, but I feel like going into the rounds and stuff, you almost have to look at it as if there are no rounds. You have to look at it as if each race is the final, because it basically is. If you don't give it your best foot forward in each round, then you're not going to be able to see the final or even the second round. So I'm going to have to, treat each race like it's a final, and I'm going to, give it my all in every one. If the race ends up being tactical or something like that, and if any of the races that I end up being tactical, then I'll just kind of adjust on the fly. But I'm planning on just, going from the gun and just giving it my all.
You both come into this with some great momentum, having some of your best performances of the last couple of years in the last few weeks. Talk about how that momentum kind of impacts your outlook and your positivity going into the trials.
Oh, I think it's great. The coaches have kind of, timed everything perfectly, and all the workouts we've done have had a purpose. We've gone into some of these races on tired legs, not feeling the greatest, and coming out with, PRs. And so I think it makes us feel good knowing that the preparation is there, and, this week we should feel the best we've felt. And so that's exciting.
Allie, what's the key to success been? I mean, you lowered your PR significantly this season, broke 2 for the first time, and then did it again. What's been the key?
Well, it's actually funny because going into this season, I had a talk with the coaches, and I kind of said to them, like, my ultimate goal is to, be competitive and have a shot at going to making the Olympic team. But I was like, I almost felt like a phony saying that going into this season, because I was like, I haven't even hit the Olympic trials standard yet. My PR was 2:02. 56. I was pretty close, but still like a far way away from where I ultimately needed to be competitive, at the trials. So we kind of reevaluated my goals, and they were like, we totally get that. Like, it is a little bit of a stretch at this point. Like, even though they believed in me, they understood where I was coming from. So we kind of reevaluated my goals and said my goal was going to see how far through the rounds I could make it. And ultimately my goal was going to be to make it to the final, because at that point anything could happen. And as the season has progressed, that whole thing that we had to deal with of me not feeling unsure of if I could even compete like for the Olympic team has really changed. Like, now I do feel like I'm, one of the top contenders, and I really could make the team. Is it going to be easy? No, not at all. It's going to be the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's actually in the picture and in the realm of what I'm actually running now. So it makes me super excited, very nervous, but I would say I'm so far away from where I was at the beginning of this season. So it's really unbelievable to be in the position I am now, from where I was.
And Abe, you've kind of come on quietly over these last couple of weeks. I think you've got sort of an underdog thing going. Does that play to your advantage?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, early on, we were training very hard. And so went into some races on tired legs, but no excuses. By the third round, that's how your body's going to be feeling. And so, I think, yeah, it's good going into these meets and knowing that, big PRs are in the cards, and just, the best races of the season are yet to come. So exciting.
For both of you, what does championship race day look like? From when you get up to the start line, what does that day look like for you?
So typically, if it's like an afternoon race, you wake up, go for a shakeout, 1 to 2 miles, eat breakfast. And then after eating breakfast, just kind of, hang out and maybe take a nap, eat some lunch. And then next thing you know, it's, you're there at the track warming up, and then it's go time. So that's what it looks for me.
Yeah, me too.
About the same.
All day.
Any particular rituals that you both do?
Sort of. Not really. I'm very religious with like what I consume that day. Like, I always have to have a Pedialyte, drop lots of body armor and Powerade and all that. I feel like I'm just constantly hydrating the whole day. But other than that, yeah, I'm just nervous all day and anxious to get to the track.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that stands out. I think it's pretty normal what we do.
One last thing, then I'll let you go. It's been a good season. It's been a great season for, I guess, the whole sport to really come back from a year off. What's been the highlight of the season for each of you so far?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like our own personal highlights?
Yeah.
Or general? It's just incredible to, like you said, like after a year of everyone, I feel like kind of struggling last year and not knowing what was going to happen and when races were actually going to start back up again, and everything had to be canceled. So to see how competitive and how fast people are running this year, like, I feel like it really shows like how badly everyone wanted it last year and it didn't happen. And, you can look at anyone and just respect. Like, I have so much respect for everyone because we all went through it, and it was really tough. But to be here now, and it's finally like the trials are finally here, the Olympics around the corner. It's a really exciting time.
I would say my highlight is just being healthy. This is my first full outdoor season since being out of college, and so I'm very excited that I'm healthy and I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know that everybody watching is rooting for you guys, and we'll be watching on TV. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All righty.